If you can't handle it, I'll replace you, the CEO told the single dad, then he walked. At exactly 11:17 on a bright Monday morning, the most powerful woman in the company looked across a glass conference table at a tired single father and said the words that would change both their lives forever: "If you can't handle it, I'll replace you." Nobody in the room moved. Nobody dared to breathe. The single dad looked down at the worn folder in his hands, then slowly looked back at the CEO. He had spent 12 years building his career from nothing, sacrificing sleep, comfort, and even his own dreams to give his little daughter a better life. But that morning, he realized something painful. Sometimes the hardest thing a person can do is not fight back, but walk away with dignity. If you believe everyone deserves kindness, respect, and a second chance, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this story, leave a comment, and subscribe to Real Dad Story. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories like this to life. The man's name was Calder Hayes, a 38-year-old father who worked as a senior operations coordinator at a rapidly growing technology company called Northbridge Dynamics. Calder was not rich. He did not drive an expensive car or wear designer suits. His shirts were always neatly pressed, but the cuffs were beginning to fade. His shoes were polished every morning, even though the leather had started cracking around the edges. He was the kind of man people rarely noticed in a crowded office because he never demanded attention. He simply arrived early, worked hard, helped everyone he could, and went home before sunset to his 9-year-old daughter, Mara. Mara was the reason behind everything he did. Calder had become a single father after losing his wife several years earlier, and since then, every decision had been measured against one simple question: would this make Mara's life better? He packed her lunch every morning, checked her homework during breakfast, and left little handwritten notes inside her school bag. On difficult days, when money was tight or work became unbearable, he reminded himself that his daughter didn't need a perfect father. She only needed one who never gave up. That Monday morning, Calder had arrived at the office before 8. Sunlight poured through the enormous windows, illuminating rows of desks and glass walls. The city outside was bright and busy, but inside Northbridge Dynamics, tension had been building for weeks. The company was preparing to launch its biggest software contract in history, and the pressure had landed heavily on Calder's department. For months, Calder had warned senior management about a serious problem with the project's supply schedule. Several critical components were delayed because a third-party vendor had quietly changed its delivery terms. Calder had sent emails, prepared reports, and requested meetings. But each time, his warnings were brushed aside because executives wanted good news, not difficult facts. Then, 3 days before the launch, the entire schedule collapsed. At 10:30 that morning, Calder was called into the CEO's conference room. Sitting at the head of the table was Serafina Vale, the 41-year-old CEO of Northbridge Dynamics. She was known throughout the company for being brilliant, disciplined, and almost impossible to impress. Her dark hair was tied neatly behind her shoulders, and her expression was as controlled as the bright daylight shining through the windows behind her. Around the table sat 6 senior executives. Calder stood at the doorway holding a thick folder. Serafina did not ask him to sit. She told him the project was in crisis. Investors were demanding answers. The board wanted someone responsible. Several executives immediately began pointing toward Calder's department, claiming his team had failed to anticipate the delays. Calder listened quietly. Then he opened his folder. Inside were printed copies of every warning he had sent during the previous 8 weeks. He had highlighted dates, delivery estimates, and the names of people who had received each report. He had done everything he was supposed to do. But nobody wanted to hear it. One executive suggested that Calder had failed to escalate the problem aggressively enough. Another said he should have found a replacement vendor sooner. Calder knew the truth. The company had rejected the alternative vendor because it was slightly more expensive. He had warned them about that too. Finally, Serafina leaned forward. Her voice was calm, but the words were sharp. "If you can't handle it, I'll replace you." The room became completely silent. Calder looked at her for several seconds. He thought about arguing. He thought about showing her every email and every report. He thought about reminding her that he had worked late nights for years while executives went home to comfortable lives. But then he remembered Mara waiting for him that afternoon. He remembered her telling him the previous night that she wanted to bake cookies together after school. And suddenly, the meeting didn't seem as important as it had 5 minutes earlier. Calder closed the folder. He thanked Serafina for her time. Then he walked out. No shouting. No insult. No dramatic argument. He simply walked away. The hallway was flooded with afternoon sunlight, and Calder stopped beside the large windows overlooking the city. His hands trembled slightly. Not because he was afraid of losing the job, but because he knew what walking away meant. He had just left the most stable income his daughter depended on. For a few seconds, he stood there fighting back tears. Then his phone vibrated. It was a message from Mara's school. Her father was needed at the school office. Calder immediately called. The teacher explained that Mara had become upset during class after another student made a cruel comment about her father losing his job. Somehow, the rumor had already spread. Calder closed his eyes. He promised he was coming. He left the building under the bright afternoon sun. By the time he reached Mara's school,